Hello, my dear students, and a very warm welcome back. You know, your board exams are just around the corner, right? So today, we're gonna absolutely master a super important chapter, life processes. Trust me, this one is a definite high scorer. So, come on, grab your notebooks and let's just dive right in. Chalo, let's begin.
All right, let's start with a really simple question. Just look at your study table for a second, okay? Now look at yourself. So what's the biggest difference? I mean, you can breathe, you eat your food, you grow, but your table, it just sits there. So how does all this happen? What are these basic fundamental processes that actually make you, you?
Okay, to make this super simple, just imagine your body is a big company. Let's call it, Body Private Limited. And you know, to keep this company running smoothly 24/7, you have a team of 4 amazing, super efficient managers. And guess what? These managers are the very life processes we're going to study today.
So, are you ready to meet the management team? First up, we have nutrition, who is basically the canteen head arranging all the food. Then comes respiration, our power plant engineer, busy generating energy. After that, we have transportation, the head of logistics, making sure everything gets delivered. And finally, excretion, the waste management supervisor, whose job is to keep the company spick and span. Simple, right? Let's get to know each of them, one by one.
Okay, let's jump into our first department, nutrition. I mean, think about it. Just like any company needs raw materials and fuel to work, our body needs food for energy, for repair, for growth. This is the #1 job of our canteen head. Now, our manager here has 2 main ways of getting food. First, you've got the Autotrophs, like our green plants. You can think of them as the ultimate cloud kitchen. They literally make their own food using sunlight. And then there are Heterotrophs, like us animals and fungi. We're the customers who order from these kitchens, depending on others for our food.
For us humans, our food processing unit is this amazing long tube you see here, the Alimentary Canal. So come on, let's follow the incredible journey our food takes, starting right from the moment we take that first bite.
This journey has some really important stops. It all begins in the mouth, where an enzyme called salivary amylase starts breaking down starch. Next up, the stomach, where hydrochloric acid and pepsin get to work on the proteins. But you know what? The main hero of the story is the small intestine. This is where the final, complete digestion of carbs, fats, and proteins happens. Then, these tiny finger-like things called villi absorb all those precious nutrients straight into our blood.
So, the canteen head has delivered all the raw materials. Fantastic. But now what? We need to convert that food into usable energy. And that, my friends, is the job of our second department, respiration, the body's very own energy factory.
And the official currency of this factory is something called ATP. The easiest way to remember it is to think of ATP as the energy rupee of our body. From blinking your eyes to running a marathon, every single little activity is paid for using these ATP coins. No ATP means no work. It's that simple. Now, take a look at how our body breaks down glucose. See, step 1 is always the same. In the cytoplasm, glucose is broken into a molecule called pyruvate. After that, the path can split. If there's lots of oxygen available, we go to step 2, which is aerobic respiration. This happens in the mitochondria and produces tons and tons of ATP. But what if you're exercising really hard and you run low on oxygen? Well, your muscles switch to step 3, anaerobic respiration. This produces something called lactic acid, and that's exactly what causes those painful muscle cramps.
But to get all that energy, we need a constant supply of oxygen, right? That's handled by our respiratory system. Air comes in through the nostrils, travels down the windpipe, and goes into the lungs, where it reaches these tiny, balloon-like structures called the alveoli.
And here's an amazing fact for you. The total surface of all your alveoli is huge. If you could somehow spread them all out flat, they would cover an area of about 80 square meters. That's nearly the size of half a badminton court. It's this massive area that makes the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide so incredibly efficient. Just wow.
Okay, let's move to our third department. It all builds up, you see. We've got the digested food, check. We've got the oxygen, check. But now, how do we deliver them to the crores and crores of cells all over our body? Well, that's the job for our logistics department, transportation, which is run by our blood circulatory system.
And the head office of this entire delivery service is our heart. It's this powerful muscular pump just about the size of your fist.
Look how it's designed with 4 separate chambers. This is a very clever design to keep the oxygen-rich blood, shown here in red, completely separate from the carbon dioxide-rich blood, which you see in blue. This separation is the secret to its efficiency. Absolutely no mixing is allowed. And our system is super efficient because of something called double circulation. What does that mean? It just means that for one full trip around the body, the blood actually passes through the heart twice. First to get pumped to the lungs for oxygen, and second to get pumped with that fresh oxygen to the rest of the body. It's a brilliant system. Now, our delivery fleet uses 2 main types of roads. You have the arteries, which are like these big highways carrying blood away from the heart at high pressure. And then you have veins, the routes that bring the blood back to the heart. And the star delivery executive in all of this? It's a protein called hemoglobin, which is found in our red blood cells. It's the one that actually picks up and carries that precious oxygen cargo. All right, with all this activity happening, production, energy generation, delivery, our body, private limited, also produces a lot of waste products. And if this waste builds up, it can become really toxic. So we need our final and very crucial manager, the head of waste management, the excretory system. Here you can see the main parts of the system. The star players, really, are this pair of kidneys. They act like the main filtration plants for the body. Their job is to filter the blood to remove waste products like urea, and this forms urine. The urine then travels down these tubes called ureters to be stored in the urinary bladder before it's finally removed from the body.
Now, if we could zoom right into the kidney, we would find millions of these tiny little filtering units called nephrons. This is where the real magic happens. Each nephron is a microscopic marvel that filters the blood and also reabsorbs useful things like glucose, amino acids, and water back into the body. Nothing useful is wasted.
You know, sometimes, due to an infection or an injury, the kidneys can stop working properly. This is a very serious condition called kidney failure. When this happens, a person needs to go through a process called dialysis, where a machine acts as an artificial kidney to filter all the waste from their blood. It's a true lifesaver for so many people.
All right, Betcha. Our management team is in place and all the departments are working perfectly. Now it's time to prepare for your performance review, the exam. We're going to tackle some of the most common questions from this chapter. Are you ready?
Let's do a quick rapid-fire round. First question, why can't big organisms like us just rely on simple diffusion for our oxygen needs? Well, it's simple. For one, diffusion is way too slow for our huge size. And 2, not all of our cells are in direct contact with the air outside. That's exactly why we need our transportation department. Okay, second question. What's the role of acid in the stomach? It has 2 main jobs. First, it creates an acidic medium so the enzyme pepsin can work. And second, it kills any nasty germs that might be in our food.
And for our final question, a classic, differentiate between autotrophic versus heterotrophic nutrition. This table right here perfectly summarizes the key differences. Just remember, autotrophs are the chefs. They make their own food from simple ingredients using sunlight. Heterotrophs are the customers. They get their food by eating other organisms. This is a perfect table to remember for your exam.
So, my dear students, please remember that nutrition, respiration, transportation, and excretion aren't separate jobs. They all work together like a perfect team to perform this big maintenance job of keeping you alive and healthy. They keep your body private limited running. Study well, don't take too much tension, you've totally got this. All the very best. And hey, if this helped you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what chapter you want me to cover next.